Basketball fan, you've got it on 2K Sports as we get set to bring you an exciting NBA basketball game. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and two Hall of Famers, Doris Burke here at the table, and on the sideline, David Aldridge. We're in Toronto for some Raptors basketball. The home crowd is ready to go. Pass to Ingram. Here's Quickly. Nice fake there to create the shot, but it's no good. Since moving back to Brooklyn in 2012, the Nets, Greg, have won just 2 playoff series.
Just think about the... all-stars they've had. KD, Pierce, Durant, Kyrie, Harden. I could name more. The Nets just haven't been able to put it together.
And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Thomas.
Yeah, gets a finger on it, but just can't quite come up with the steal.
But a really good read on his part, being disruptive at the defensive end right now.
Pass to Pirtle. Claxton with the steal. Now here's Williams. And they call an illegal screen here.
And not the most common call you'll see in the NBA, but hard to argue that pick wasn't illegal.
It is really difficult to get your feet completely set, to stay completely still. It's almost surprising to me that it isn't called more often.
On the wing quickly. Bounce pass Ingram. And it's quickly missing. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jakob Poeltl. That is his first foul of the game. Johnson outside. To the paint. Here's Claxton. Outside for Thomas. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line. It goes on Brandon Ingram. Cam Thomas was the 27th pick in the 2021 NBA Draft GA. And I think a lot of teams, wouldn't you agree, are regretting passing on him.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to believe that he fell all the way to the end of the first round. Lots of teams would love to have a scorer like him on their roster.
Now, here's Barrett. Back to Quickly. Clock at 6. And the Raptors miss again.
Well, if the defense gives him that shot next time, they could get burned. I think he's just a little bit out of rhythm.
Just setting the tone with an aggressive move to the rack. And where's the help defensively?
To me, that's a complete lack of communication on that side of the ball. These guys need to be talking to each other.
From 7. And again, no good on Toronto. Williams for 2. His shot is good, making him a perfect 2 for 2 from the floor.
You have to have the vision to find the open man. Beautiful pass.
Poeltl's shot is off. Brooklyn leading by 6. Pass to Claxton. And stolen by Barnes. Here's Quickly. Good, and it's Barnes picking up the assist.
Scotty Barnes is a well-rounded basketball player. Passing is part of that, guys. Pretty pass there.
Knocked away. And stolen by Barnes. And it's Quickly in the corner. Shoots over Johnson. And it's Quickly missing.
Boy, 9 times out of 10, that's going in. I'm sure he surprised himself with the miss.
Pass to Claxton. Johnson in the corner. 6 on the shot clock. From outside, off the mark.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Shoots from the high post. It's hauled in by Claxton. And the defense of this Raptors team, Craig, they are built to switch.
And it's no accident with their roster construction. They like having wings that can guard all 5 positions, makes defending a much easier prospect.
Now here's Williams. Following the miss by Scotty Barnes. Pass to Claxton. Johnson outside. There's Williams with the 3. And it's Toronto with the rebound. Here's Barnes. And Barnes gets double teamed. On the wing quickly. Pulls it from 20. And again, Toronto no luck. Nets leading by 4. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Back to Johnson. Oh, Claxton in position. And another turnover. Here by Brooklyn.
That almost looked like bad communication. You hate to see that kind of mistake.
So it's Toronto now. Pass to Walter. Here's Shed. He's guarded by Johnson. Here's Abaji. Good defense by Claxton. And that does it for the first quarter. Nets. And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter of action so far. And guys, what stands out to you from the Nets in this one?
What we saw in that first quarter, they won their matchups defensively.
I think across the board, a number of guys who've done a great job guarding multiple positions.
Now, here is Lawson. After D'Angelo Russell's miss, here's Abaji. No good with the triple. Nets leading by 4. Williams in the post. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Williams has got 6. And we see, as in baseball doors, the introduction of the pitch timer to increase the pace of play. Do you think the NBA is taking notice of that?
What I know, Kevin, unequivocally, is the NBA is in a constant state of monitoring its product and how can it make it more fan-friendly. The only criticism to me that's redundant is the pace of reviews, and the league is trying to streamline that to the best of their ability.
And he's an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
He is, and he picks the simple one-hand stuff to get the 2 points. Time now to turn to our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David.
Hey, Kevin. The Brooklyn Nets wasted no time hiring their next coach, Jordi Fernandez, shortly after the conclusion of last season. Despite his youth, Fernandez has been on the rise after stops as an assistant with the Kings, Nuggets, and Cavs, as well as coaching the Canadian national team. Kevin?
DA, we've been talking about Jordi Fernandez for a long time. Now his big break, and I'm very happy. I know we all are for Coach Fernandez. Hey, David, thank you. Outside, Williams. Kicks it out to Johnson. Plenty of space. Basket, good. And now it's a 3-point Brooklyn lead.
Boy, that one was not easy. Every once in a while, you just make a tough shot.
And yes, it's good. Mobo's got his second basket of the game.
Gotta show more muscle to keep him off that low block.
Well, it's a couple of things here, I think. Certainly the effort, the willingness to fight, and the willingness to push him off of his comfort zone.
Deep 2 from Russell. The shot goes in. First of the night. He's 1 for 3 to start the game. To the inside. Pass to Agbaji. Fires for 3. Drains it from beyond the arc. Agbaji's got the game tied up here for Toronto.
I'll tell you, you are playing with fire anytime you leave this guy open, and they just got burned.
And not too long ago, Doris, there were such high hopes for the Nets' future.
I mean, think about it, Kevin. A few years back, people were talking about Brooklyn being a dynasty in the making. They were loaded with talent. And for a lot of reasons, it fell apart pretty quickly. How fine is that line between success and failure in the league? Incredible.
Thomas deciding where to go with it. Inside. And here we go. Lawson heading to the hoop. Finished off. Off the break. Lawson's got the lead up to 4 now for the Raptors. All right, well, look at how the hustle game has been going for the Raptors.
Just a great job so far applying pressure defensively. The opposition is on their heels with the ball in their hand. Nightmarish clamps thus far.
And boy, have they started out quick, running the floor and taking advantage of their speed.
So, timeout called here, the first for Toronto. DB thinking about Cam Thomas. When he gets on a roll, he is tough to stop.
Kevin, he reminds me a little bit of the microwave Vinnie Johnson back in the days of Detroit. When this guy is hot, get out of his way and let him do his thing.
And a new group in for the Nets. Ingram, left side. They get the rebound. Here's Mobo. Good, and it's Barnes picking up the assist.
When you have vision at the forward spot, it always opens up and elevates the team. Scotty Barnes passing on display. Well, exposing a weakness in the defense, that's just way too easy, guys.
Here's Barnes, and he uses the glass on the layup. And the Raptors lead by 4.
And, guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with their work down low.
Here's Claxton. Lays it up and banks it in. Claxton's got his first 2 points.
Well, so great when your offense produces a shot that close to the rim. The rest of the work becomes easier.
Near the three-point line, it's Ingram. Here's Barnes. Shot from the wing. And that one's good, Ingram.
And the whole court is open for Ingram. He's got the accuracy to hit that from mid-range.
Johnson can't hit.
Listen, offensively, they're very comfortable with him taking that shot. It's a good look under very little pressure. He just can't convert.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn.
You know, couldn't agree more with this timeout. Far too many turnovers to get any kind of offensive rhythm. You're just trying to mix things up here.
From the inbound. Oh, and the jam by Johnson.
Oh, and he went for the two-hander on the slam using some muscle.
Some urgency from him there. Sure. And that's it for the first half of that. What's been a Raptors lead by 2. Stay with us, folks. We'll get back just after halftime to start the third quarter. And as we get into this third quarter, as we've seen so far, neither team able to create much separation on the scoreboard yet. Here's Russell, and Poeltl sends it back.
Active defense from Jakob Poeltl, that's the key. When he stays active and alert, blocks are going to be there for him.
Ingram with it. Now, Thomas defending. And Barrett gets it to go. Barrett's got the first points to start out the third quarter for the Raptors. Nets trail by 4. Now here's Thomas. 6 points for him. Lays it up off the glass. Thomas got 8 points.
Important points there. Got him on a nice play, getting the ball inside and right to the bucket.
Johnson surveying the floor. Pass to Thomas. Johnson outside. Puts up a deep 3. It's rebounded by Barrett. And Barrett has got the ball here for the Toronto Raptors. The lead is 2.
You get the sense Scotty Barnes is very comfortable in the painted area. That's easy work.
A reserve through his first 3.5 seasons, quickly now stepping indoors to a starting role.
You know, Kevin, you go from instant offense role off the bench to now being a lead guard. The responsibility takes an extraordinary step up. But this guy is clearly ready, quickly wanted to be a starter in this league. We've seen this time and again. R.J. Barrett will not be deterred by a little contact.
Pass to Claxton. It's deflected. Ingram with it. Now Thomas defending.
Adding to their advantage, trying to find a way to blow this one open.
One of the things they're doing is identifying favorable matchups and then going at them.
Down low. Here's Barnes. And the dunk by Barnes.
What I like here, even with the big lead, they continue to execute their offense.
And that, to me, is a sign of excellent coaching. There's an attention to detail. There is valuing of every possession.
Here's Thomas. A slam dunk by Thomas.
Oh, power flush with a long hang on the rim at the end of that.
That could be a canvas for him. It really could. Back to Johnson. On the wing, Williams. And the layup's good off the glass. 8 points for Williams.
I love the ball movement there. He put that.
Toronto calling timeout. So it's both teams making substitutions here. Raptors leading by 6. Here's Shed. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. That's on D'Angelo Russell. The Raptors shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line.
Wow, what, did he have something in his eye on that shot?
Maybe. And it's Toronto with the rebound. They've led by as much as 10. To the middle. Pass to Mobo. Barrett with the ball. Williams picks him up. Here's Abaji. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. Abaji's got 10 points.
How much do we love to see the turnaround?
Russell. It's deflected. Barrett wide open. He fires. And the Raptors hit again from deep.
Well, the numbers show it. R.J. Barrett much more comfortable shooting from the corner.
Nets trail by 11. Johnson, a wide open look. That 3 off the mark. And it's the Raptors' ball. They're on a 15-6 run. Here's Abaji. Raptors get it back. It's Barrett on the wing. Toronto working the ball around now. The Raptors need to get a shot off. Good on the triple. And the Raptors lead by 14.
He took what the defense was giving him that time. There was nobody on him on the three-point shot. Boy, don't give him the lights out.
Diversified scoring in this one for him.
I love when everyone can get involved, a full team effort.
Yep, that one goes in there. 10 points for him.
When you allow good scorers to get uncontested shots at the rim, no wonder you're losing.
To me, this has simply stated been a complete lack of defensive attention and focus all night long.
And so it's Toronto with a sizable lead as the quarter wraps up. And 1 quarter to go. To this point, has not been an evenly fought contest. Here's Quickly. Nice concentration to hit the double clutch layup. Quickly's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Raptors. Johnson. And Pirtle pulls it down. Ingram wide open. Rebound, Brooklyn.
And this is what dominating the glass looks like. He just cannot be contained.
Wow, what a performance. And he's not just winning with physical ability, he's winning with anticipation.
Left side, Barrett. Ingram outside. Just 5 to shoot. Pass to Quickly. Over Russell. And it's Quickly missing. Nets trail by 15. Johnson, that's for 2. It's rebounded by Scotty Barnes. And it's Barnes with the ball for the Toronto Raptors. To the inside. Nice shot by Pirtle. And the Raptors lead by 17.
Well, this is the expectation for Jakob Pirtle. His scoring in the post has to be there for him.
And even with good coverage defensively that time, he has confidence to drill the three.
Good defense by Claxton. And so it's Brooklyn and Williams with the stuff.
You gotta love his hustle, leaving the defense no time to react.
The finish in transition, nice and easy.
And they get it back. Down low and taken away by Johnson. And now here's Johnson, the fast chance. Good on the bucket.
And just willing to take chances defensively pays off in a transition basket.
That is quick defense to offense. These guys such terrific athletes. You can't let your guard down.
And here's Quickly for 3. Cans it from downtown. Quickly's got 5 points now in the quarter.
He's just stretching him out. The defense has got to do a better job of staying attached to him.
Well, you know this. This is a guy who's looking for his shot the whole time. You have to know who you're guarding. KYP, know your personnel.
Nice shot by Pirtle. Nets trail by 18. Up top, Russell. And Pirtle pulls it down. And Toronto has possession. 18 points separating the teams. That's the biggest lead of the game. And here we go. Brooklyn, fast break. Back to Russell. On the wing, Johnson. Three-pointer. And Pirtle pulls it down. Raptors leading by 18. Barnes. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. Hey, Doris, how has Scotty Barnes advanced his game since being named Rookie of the Year back in 2022?
Well, all the physical skills are there for him. Tremendous athlete, cross-positional defensively. I think what happens for young players is they start to read the progressions of the game more quickly. Now you can put the ball in his hands, let him be a decision maker. This guy is a stat stuffer.
The 3 from Quickly. And the Raptors miss again. Nets trail by 20.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will. And you can safely say mission accomplished now for Toronto.
The starting five must have been happy to get so much help from the reserves in this game.
And they not only lightened the load, the subs did nothing less than guarantee a win. And that's the kind of lead pass we've come to expect from him.
Martin for three. Barnes grabs the miss. And it's Brandon Ingram with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
And really just a great play to sacrifice his body and take the charge.
And Toronto will go for a different look here. Johnson, that's for two. And again, it's the Nets missing.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
And there's the whistle. Illegal screen.
When a pick like that is questionable, it creates that much of an advantage for the offense. You have to blow the whistle.
I don't think there's any question. There are so many rules that favor the offense these days. You've got to be able to equal things out when the legal screen is set.
Drops in the tray.
You know, maybe he's not one of the elite sharpshooters, but even still, that's not a shot the D can afford to give him.
It's good on the putback.
Convincing lead with very little time remaining, and the fans are pumped.
Well, they're getting ready to celebrate, no doubt. They know it's theirs to lose at this point.
And the shot is good from Johnson. Barnes outside to the right side. Fires the three. Outside for Lawson. And it's out of bounds. The Raptors able to retain possession here. Here's Abaji. Fires the three. Misses there. And so Toronto takes this one, but by a big margin. They poured it on tonight. Dominant showing in front of a crowd that loves.